The glute bridge is one of my favorite exercises to help you learn to activate your glutes in everyday activities. So it is a perfect exercise to perform at the beginning of a workout, especially on a lower body day, to make sure that you're activating and waking up those glute muscles. So how we're going to set up with the glute bridge is with our feet hip distance apart and in line with our knees. So we don't want our knees sliding side to side. From there, I'm going to lie down on my back and set up my core. So we don't want too much of an arch in the low back, but we also don't want too much of a pelvic tilt. So one of the exercises I have are called our pelvic tilts. So we find the extreme one way, the extreme the other way, and then the neutral. So I want you to work with the neutral spine, keeping the core nice and tight. My feet are hip distance, and I'm going to dig the backs of my arms and my shoulder blades into the ground during this exercise. So core is tight, pressing through my feet. I'm going to squeeze my bum and lift my hips up off of the ground. So from here you can hold. Level 1 would be to hold, squeeze, imagine squeezing a penny between your cheeks. Level 2 we would work on raising and lowering the hips in reps. So squeezing the glutes to lift, and then lower, you should feel a stretch in the glutes, tapping the ground, squeeze to lift, all while maintaining that flat back and your core nice and tight. So troubleshooting, if you feel this too much in your quads, what happens typically is we've brought our feet too far. So now when I raise my hips, my quads are doing most of the exercise. So I would, if you feel it too much in your quads, move your feet away. If you feel it too much in your hamstrings, the backs of your legs, typically your feet are too far away, and that means we're using our hamstrings to help raise ourselves up. So troubleshooting yourself, finding the perfect position for your feet, typically at the top, your knees are above your ankles. The final troubleshooting tip is if you find you've got a good position with your feet, sometimes we need to turn off the front side, the anterior chain. So I like to point your toes to the ceiling and press directly through your heels. So keeping your core tight, squeeze the glutes to lift and to lower. Last troubleshooting is sometimes we feel too much in our low back, and that could be because we're raising too far up and extending into the low back. From here, a single leg variation that I prefer is crossing one ankle at the knee, always flexing the toe toward the shin, and then pressing out. So now my feet are still hip distance. I'm going to squeeze the glutes to lift and lower, focusing on that non-bent leg. So toe to shin, pressing through the heel, core tight, back of the arms, squeeze to lift.